Hello, and welcome to the best Field Marshal and General combos. Today we're going to be going over the combinations that I think, in my opinion, are the ones that you should use for your offensive generals and your defensive generals and how they all combine. So your marshals and your generals, just all of it combined. So without further ado, we're going to start off with the offensive ones. So these are the Field Marshal traits that I think you should get. Now we're going to go over these, okay? So the first thing that you need to do on these generals, in my opinion, is you need to grind adaptable. Adaptable is one of those traits that it applies, even though it's a general trait, it only applies half. Half of 30 is still 15%, okay? It's really still good. And they also apply the terrain traits, they got it. So you have to grind 2 of these terrain traits to get adaptable, but it's well worth it. If we look on the Field Marshal traits, an offensive general Field Marshal needs to do things, okay? These things are basically buff the offensive units that are attacking, okay? So, in order of the importance that they should be in, is ideally you want a brilliant strategist, okay? Because a brilliant strategist is required to get aggressive assaulter. Now, in order of importance, at least in my opinion, of these things, is taking offensive doctrine and aggressive assaulter first, and then getting logistics wizard, okay? You have to grind organizer, which is kind of a pain to do, but having minus 15% supply consumption across the board is really, really good, okay? This is something that will help your entire offensive army through thick and thin, okay? Other traits down here are, again, if you can get your guy high enough, there is nothing wrong with stacking as many, like Trickster, and then getting Improv Expert, Commando, Infantry Leader, getting all those traits into the Field Marshal. There's nothing bad about it, okay? Even taking Organizer and Charismatic is not a bad idea, okay? But I'm just saying, you need to get adaptable, and you need to take offensive, and then aggressive, and then you need to get Logistics Wizard, okay? Now, for your general, it's going to highly depend on what your division is. But we're going to say this is a tank division, okay? Again, adaptable is a must grind. I just got Mountaineer and Desert, okay? But you need adaptable on this general. This is your guy that's going to break through the enemy lines with the tanks, okay? The next thing he absolutely must have is he must have Trickster. And the trait right here that is important is Improvisation Expert, okay? This grants him the ability to move 10% faster, which I will cover in a little bit. That's one of the main bonuses, but the main reason we're here is for the enables ability makeshift bridges, okay? And what that does, right, if we hover over it, it gives you a river crossing speed penalty of minus 40% and a 20% attack, okay? You need this for Russia. You will grind this trait in Spain, and you will get it on your general. If you don't, you're done, okay? This is a must-have on your general for Russia, and he's going to be commanding your tanks. Another one of these traits, again, would be Engineer, because it's going to give you a boost to your river attack. This, along with the makeshift bridges, is going to make it very potent for you to cross the rivers that you need to cross. One last thing they really need is Panzer Leader, but again, if you're using tanks, this should be an easy grind, okay? It's going to give your armor division 16 attack. Very, very easy to get. I wouldn't really worry about it, especially in your tank general, because you're going to get it, okay? Again, having other traits here is always nice to have, but they are not necessary, okay? Adaptable and Improvisation Expert are absolutely necessary. Engineer and Panzer Leader are, again, very highly sought after, but I would try and get them on your general, okay? For ones that are going to be using tanks to cross stuff, okay? Now we're going to go on to defensive generals. Okay, so for your defensive generals, again, we're going to start with the Field Marshal. The Field Marshal, he should have, again, adaptable, one of the best traits in the game. And then his stats, in my order of opinion, I would think you need to give him an inflexible strategist, are the best defensive generals. If you have one of them, make them a Field Marshal. Because you're going to need Unyielding Defender, which just gives you straight 10% defense on all of your divisions, okay? And then next, I would take Defensive Doctrine. Gives all of your guys maximum entrenchment of plus 30%. This helps them dig in and hold the line. Again, the next thing after that would be Logistics Wizard. Again, eating less supply is always good, okay? Again, Organizer, you're going to have to grind, but that's one of the most painful ones to do, okay? Again, if you can have any more of these traits on your Field Marshal, that is fantastic. I'm not telling you don't need them, but I'm just telling you the way that you need to get the traits on the Field Marshal is what you need to do in the order that I specified, okay? Like if you have an infantry general and you can get him ambusher, and then he can apply that bonus at half all the way down, so it'd be like 2.5% entrenchment across all the divisions. Again, that's great. That's fantastic. But you need to get defensive doctrine, unyielding, and logistics on the field marshal, okay? And adaptable. Those are the must-haves, okay? Next, if we go to the general, we have a little bit more leniency here, okay? So we're going to get adaptable. Again, obviously, this is a must-have. After that, it depends on what your defensive division is doing, okay? So what are all these 24 divisions going to do? We just hypothetically said we're going to have infantry, okay? We're going to take infantry leader, right? We're going to grind it out just by using infantry. We'll obviously get that very fast. Plus 13% defense for infantry is amazing, okay? This is why infantry are like the best unit at holding a line, okay? They're the cheapest at doing so, and they have a lot of defense. Now, you're going to have a choice between infantry expert and ambusher. Again, these are the defensive infantry. They're meant to hold the line, okay? So taking ambusher on your guy is worth it, okay? Then you need trickster, at least in my opinion. Giving you more reconnaissance means your general can use the tactics that they have more often, but it is not required, okay? But again, here's the thing. Of having improvisation expert, it gives you a plus 10% land movement bonus, okay? And I'm going to show you after this part what the difference is between having it and not having it. But basically, having it makes your divisions go faster, and not having it means they don't. Okay? So I'm going to go show you that part. Okay, so if we look here, we can see that these two units are moving in the same place, right? And what we're going to look at is the main difference here is the fact that one of these generals, so this one right here, his division is moving at 4.5 kilometers an hour and will get there in 3 days and 17 hours, okay? This is all of his stats, right? He's got the Mountaineer stat, which is going to improve his movement, right? And then his general on top of that also has Mountaineer, which will improve his movement speed, okay? Now, what we're comparing here is the fact that this general right here has improv expert, okay? His movement on land goes up by 10%. This is going to apply to the division, okay? He also has Mountaineer, right? And then this general right here also has Mountaineer, right? He's got Mountaineer. Now, if we compare the two, that we can see that this division with the guy that has the improv expert is moving at 4.9 kilometers an hour, okay? And he will get to the province in 3 days and 10 hours. Whereas this general that does not have the improv expert will get there in 3 days and 17 hours, okay? And his speed is 4.5, okay? Now, how significant of a difference is this? It's just 10%, but 10% can go a long way on tank divisions and such. Again, it's just going to depend, but this is why you want improv expert on your tanks, basically. Okay, so today we've covered some general field marshal and general combos that you can do for your divisions. If you like this sort of video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Friday.